We're making chicken taco potato bowls. In each of these containers is 438 calories and 46 grams of protein. It is incredibly easy to make. There's lots of corners you can cut as well to make it even easier for yourself, and I know you're going to love it. Starting off with the prep, we're going to need 900 grams or 1.9 pounds of any all-rounder potatoes. No need to peel them, and we can give them a good wash. We're going to slice these in half lengthways, lay them flat so they don't wobble around, slice into quarters, rotate, and then dice into large pieces. Try and be as consistent as possible, that way everything's going to cook at the same rate.
Add the potatoes to a bowl, then add in 1 teaspoon each of onion and garlic powder, smoked paprika, ground cumin, and dried oregano, and then add in about 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon of chili powder or cayenne pepper, or even chili flakes depending on how hot you like things. Season to taste with salt and cracked black pepper. I used about 20 cracks worth here, and then add 1 tablespoon of avocado or olive oil. Mix this all together using clean hands or a spoon. Make sure the potatoes are fully coated in the herbs and spices, and then we can place these into an air fryer. And if you don't want to use an air fryer, you can use an oven. All instructions are listed in the link in the description. And we're not going to start cooking these at this very moment.
Now for our chicken, we're going to need 900 grams or 1.9 pounds of boneless and skinless chicken breast. Slice these into strips lengthways the whole way across. Rotate and then dice into large pieces. Same as what we did with the potatoes, try your best to get them as consistent as possible.
To save dishes, I've put the chicken in the same bowl that we had the potatoes in, and we're using the exact same spices, which is 1 teaspoon each of onion and garlic powder, smoked paprika, ground cumin, dried oregano, and then a pinch of chili flakes. Season to taste with a little bit more salt and cracked black pepper. Obviously that isn't directly to taste, it just means to your preference. Add in 1 tablespoon of avocado oil or olive oil, and then mix to combine, making sure that everything is coated in those herbs and spices, and just pop this aside for the time being.
Now for a quick pico de gallo, we're going to need 220 grams or 7.7 ounces of any cherry tomato. These are baby Romas or grape tomatoes, and you can use the equivalent of 3 large Roma tomatoes. Whichever tomato you chose to use, we want to dice these up into small pieces. You can remove that pulp if you'd like to. It does make things a little less watery, especially when we're going to store this and serve it later on. That choice is all yours, but you should have something that looks like this. Along with the tomatoes, we're going to need 1 small red onion or white onion. Take off the tip, leave the root intact, and then slice this across, stopping at the root. Make the horizontal slice if you'd like to, and then dice these into small pieces. I like to make sure everything's the same size in this, so try and get it the same size as the tomatoes. Traditionally, 1 jalapeno is used. You don't have to use these if you don't like spice, but most of the time these aren't even that spicy anyway. All I'm doing with this is taking off the stem, slice it in half, and then slice into thin strips. Rotate those strips and then dice into small pieces. You can remove the seeds and the pith, but I like to leave it all in, it's just extra flavor. I'm using 5 grams or 0.2 ounces of coriander or cilantro. If you think it tastes like soap, you don't have to use it. And all I'm doing is scrunching it up and then roughly chopping it, making sure that there's no large leaves or stems. Last but not least is 1 lime. Slice this in half and then squeeze in the juice, using the pulp as well, a little bit of extra flavor. And I like to start off with a smaller amount and then adjust later on, because some people like different acidity levels, so just go to your liking.
Season to taste with a little bit of salt. You can add some cracked black pepper if you'd like to. Mix this together, make sure all of the ingredients are evenly incorporated and that lime juice is coating everything. Should have something that looks like this, which we can place in the fridge until we're ready to serve. Now this is optional, but we're going to be making a smoky coriander lime sauce. Add 200 grams or 7.05 ounces of natural Greek yogurt into a bowl. Chop up about 5 grams or 0.2 ounces of coriander or cilantro. Just make sure that there's no large leaves or stems, adding that into the bowl. Grate in the zest of about half a lime. You don't have to do the zest if you don't want to, it just adds a really nice extra infusion. Cut off 1/4 of a lime and squeeze in the juice. You're looking at roughly about a teaspoon of lime juice in there, and it's always best to use fresh. And then I'm using one of my favorite smoky sauces, which is just Cholula Chipotle. You can use any of your favorites, and this isn't sponsored, I just really like the sauce. Then get in there and mix this all together, make sure everything's combined, and you can place it in the fridge as it is, or you can put it into a squeezy bottle, which is going to make things so much easier when it comes to serving, instead of just dolloping it on over the top. I explain storage and reheating instructions later on in the video, but this will last 1 week in the fridge. With the potatoes in the air fryer, we can set this to around 18 to 24 minutes or until the potatoes are soft at 200 degrees Celsius or 390 degrees Fahrenheit. For the chicken, place a large pan over a medium-high heat. Add in 1 tablespoon of avocado oil or olive oil, and this isn't extra virgin olive oil, by the way. Add in the chicken, and I recommend doing this in batches depending on the size of your pan. We want to get a nice even sear all over, and I like to let this sit for about 2 minutes to build that crust. Then start mixing it around, and we're going to cook this for a total of about 5 to 6 minutes or until that chicken is cooked in the center. Once you do have it cooked, we'll then remove it and place it into a bowl and repeat with any of the remaining batches. Also, if you are doing this in batches, only add in about half a tablespoon of olive oil or avocado oil for the next batch. All of this is included in the macros at the end as well. And if you're wondering why we do this in batches, it's because if you overcrowd the pan, not enough heat's going to get in there and the meat's going to steam instead of sear. Also, don't forget about your soft, fluffy potatoes, either in the air fryer or in the oven. Now when it comes to serving up, I'm placing the potatoes on one side. A single serving weight is 150 grams or 5.2 ounces. As for the chicken, we'll place this on the other side of the container and a single serving weight is 170 grams or 6 ounces. And don't forget to pour over any resting juices. With the pico de gallo, it works out to be about 80 grams or 2.8 ounces per serving. Then finally for the sauce, drizzle this over the top and it's 40 grams or 1.4 ounces per serving. Leaving us with these chicken taco potato bowls. It's incredibly easy to make, they're delicious, and they smell fantastic. What we have here is the full macro card. This is for a single portion, including the full serving size.
Once you have them all portioned out, let them cool down for about 15 to 20 minutes or so, and then we can start placing on the lids. These will last 4 days in the fridge and 3 months in the freezer. With reheating, your best bet's a microwave. Just do it for about 3 minutes, mixing it around occasionally. You can do it in a pan, but it will get a little bit dry. And for the purpose of this video, I have added that pico de gallo and the yogurt sauce so you can see what the complete dish looks like. Get a lot of comments saying it's disgusting that I'm putting that on and then reheating it, but they're obviously skipping out of those parts of the video and not getting to this part where I explain that you put this in the fridge and serve it on separately. The pico de gallo and that yogurt sauce will last up to a week in the fridge. The only thing left to do is we can then dig in. It's everything that you'd expect. The chicken's juicy, it's packed with flavor. The potatoes are the same, nice and soft and fluffy with all of those herbs and spices. And that pico and the yogurt sauce, it just adds really nice freshness to it. Beautiful dish, and I cannot wait for you to try it.